Hello, everyone. My name is Gemma, and I would like to present my final project for user experience engineering called Spotted Whale. Spotted Whale is an app, and this app was built to be a bridge between wonder and action. It inspires individuals to fall in love with and help protect the oceans the whales call home. Next, I would like to introduce the personas that were behind the building of this app. So the first persona is Chido. He's 48. He's a product manager. He lives in Montreal, Quebec. And his favorite quote is, "In all things of nature, there's something of the marvelous." The next persona is Gracie. She's 25 years, customer solutions specialist. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Her favorite quote is, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page." Um, Next, we will deep dive into Spotted Whale app. Let's discover what the app is all about. So once we come to the app, it brings us to the home screen. Here we see a beautiful ocean with just like an island surrounded by a beautiful ocean. And once we scroll down, it takes us to get started or log in. For a returning type of user, they would only need to log in. However, because we are coming here for the first time, we will click on Get Started. So Get Started brings us to the next page. The next screen tells us to enter our email and sign up. So once we enter the email, next we click Sign Up. It brings us to the screen that tells us to enter the code that was sent to our email. Once we put in the code, we click Verify and move to the next. And voila, it brings us to our featured whale screen. So here we see the image of Soul the Blue. And if we want to learn more about Soul the Blue, we can click View Details. If we want to save this to our profile and our images, we can click on this icon here, and it takes us, it saves the image into our profile. However, because we would like to discover more about Soul the Blue, we click on View the Details. Once we do this, it gives us the facts about Soul the Blue. And once we scroll down, it takes us to View Sightings. Here we can view recent sightings of Soul the Blue whale. However, if we want to learn more, we can also scroll down and click on more about Soul the Blue. Right now, we'll click on View Sightings, and it will take us to the next screen. This brings us to the map. So here we can see locations around oceans of the world where Soul the Blue has been sighted. If we want to view images of Soul the Blue in the ocean, we can click on View Images and see Soul the Blue in different oceans in different parts of the world. So from here, we can use the back arrow and return to the home page. Here we can click on sightings. We can see list of sightings, list of whales that have been sighted. And next we click on trips. It brings us to the trip homepage. So right now we are looking at the trip screen, and it tells us about, here we have a search bar where we can search destinations for whale viewing of different types. And we can customize our search, whether based on the country that we're interested in, Canada, US, islands, or all. Right now we are in the all button, and it shows us that we have an upcoming trip. When we scroll down, we can also see featured expeditions or featured trips that we can view. Scrolling across shows us more information, and when we click on See All, It shows us all the available trips that we can discover, we can view, and we can book. Right now, we will click on Montego Bay Eco Tour. When we click on this, it brings us to the next screen where we see best seasons watching tips. And we think we like what we see, we can go ahead and book the trip. Once we click on book the trip, it brings us to the next screen that tells us about Montego Bay Eco Tour. It tells us the time, select date, passengers, and the total price. And now we can confirm booking. Once we click on confirm booking, it tells us that your adventure awaits, and it sends us an email of our booking confirmation. It also gives us information of date, time, and it provides a screen code that we can share once we get to the location. We also have the opportunity to add this trip to our calendar to remind us. And also, if we want to go straight to our trips, we can do the same. Right now, we will go back, return back to the trip homepage, and from here, we can view conservation spotlights. When we click on all, it shares, it brings us to the page that tells us all about conservation, different conservation for whales going around in the world. And we click on read more, it brings us to the next page telling us more about actions that are being taken to conserve whales. Now we go back, we can click on the plus sign that takes us to add media. So we can add photos and videos to our collection. We can also include notes that will help us to remember what those photos and videos mean. We can record sightings. So if there's a sighting that we would like to add to our media collection, our media gallery, we can select it here, choose the species, sighting, location, date, time of sighting. All this information will help us to remember what exactly and when this sighting was done. And we click on Save Media, it saves that image, brings us back to this homepage, and we go to Profile. When we go to Profile, we can view saved content. There you go. Beautiful images of all the pictures that we have saved. We can also load more images. We go back, we can edit our profile, put in our name, email, and other information, save changes. We save the changes. We can go to settings where we can change our privacy, security, push notifications, all this possible. Email alerts, if we want that. If we want email alerts, we can change that. And finally, we can log out, or if we want to go back and see other information, we can do so. So this is in a nutshell, all the features we can currently enjoy on Spotted Whale app. There will be more features